Greetings, family. Welcome. This is Dr. Kia Pruitt. It is Wednesday, I believe. Let's see, June the 25th, 2025, and the time is 4:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I won't be on here long. I just came to encourage you. So I have a flight to catch in less than an hour, no, in about an hour. So let me hurry up along. So there's news that's spreading all across America and probably the globe that people should be in a panic because we are about to experience World War III. And so what they're saying is embassies are closing all across, America and all across the world. Actually, U.S. embassies are closing. So we need to take flight. I've heard people go to their YouTube channels to tell people to leave America because these embassies all across the globe are shutting down. However, family, please stay encouraged. A lot of this is just smokescreen stuff. Mainstream media is going to want you to be upset. They're going to want you to panic. When in fact, what's happening is behind the scenes, the United States government, United States Incorporated, is being dismantled. And I'm going to prove this to you that embassies were closing way before this Iran Israel conflict started. So the embassy started to close publicly, but most people don't know that once Elon Musk was tasked with downsizing the United States government. When he and Trump and the Trump administration created DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, that is when embassies all across the globe shut down. Additionally, there were articles that were surfacing that said budget cuts, period, were leading to United States embassies cutting or being cut and being shut down or closed all across the globe. So stay encouraged, family. We are not about to have World War III. Iran and Israel are not going to go to war. It's just, you have to know the art of war, and you have to understand and read the law of war manual, which I do have. And so you cannot let the enemy know what you're doing. Also, you have people that are in power, elites that are really speaking to each other about this global war that's really about taking down the bad and putting back up the good. So what's happening is, I'll slow down, I have to flight to catch. But what's happening is, according to Project Sandman, 209 nations agree behind the scenes to global peace. Also with NESARA-GESARA, the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, and the global version of that, the Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, we have to have world peace, and everybody has to be in their home countries in order to receive their benefits, the universal basic income benefits from their trust that was derived from their birth certificates all across the globe. And everything that the deep state has done to enslave us has to be reversed. So this is the greatest wealth transfer ever in history that we're about to experience. But they're not going to tell you we're going to release your birth certificates and we're going to pay you for all of your enslavement and we're going to do away with debt. Remember, just yesterday or the day before, I told you that we're about to have a jubilee that's going to be in biblical proportions, a jubilee of biblical proportions. And I've been talking about this jubilee, I know, for a couple of years, but it's happening right now. Chief Mack, you can come on and please confirm what I'm saying, but I wanted to make sure that you know that we are not about to experience war. Now, I can assure you that even though recent articles are talking about a war or World War III, and recent articles are surfacing that saying embassies are closing, so we need to be afraid and people need to leave, I can assure you that we've been talking about these closings for a while. And let me show you one such article. Keep checking in, family. The Trump administration plans to shut down nearly 30 United States embassies, over half in Africa. We're leaving Africa because, as I told you yesterday, Africa has decided, all the leaders in Africa decided they're going to have one Africa. All the nations are coming together to be one unit. And they're going to have their own global or African payment system and their own currency. We'll do a podcast on that specifically on Africa. But this is why the United States is leaving, because African nations are now experiencing their sovereignty. This article was published in April. So it was before this war, Iran-Israeli conflict, okay? This was April the 19th. Here's where you can see the date right here. Let me make that big for you. The Trump administration is considering a significant reduction in the United States diplomatic presence worldwide with the proposal to close nearly 30 embassies and consulates, over half of which are located in Africa. The initiative is part of a broader plan to cut the State Department's budget by nearly 50%. It's about budget cuts to downsize the government, because the government, the United States Incorporated, is a fake, faux, unlawful entity that's not sovereign, that's not a republic, and has to be dismantled. In essence, that's the deep state. They're aiming to reduce foreign aid by approximately 75%. Why? Because we discovered when Doge was created, when Trump first came on, that United States aid going to Africa and other nations was not about bringing peace to these nations. It was not about being benevolent or helping them, but it was about trying to convert them to take certain inoculations. It was about trying to get them to do sex changes, transgender operations, and it was about a bunch of malarkey. Nothing that was truly educational, but it was about really enslaving and controlling Africa. According to the internal State Department document, the proposed closures include embassies in Lesotho, Eritrea, the Central African Republic, the Republic of Congo, the Gambia, South Sudan. Additionally, consulates in Durban, South Africa, and Douala, Cameroon, are slated for closure, with the responsibilities potentially being transferred to neighboring countries. With their responsibilities being transferred to neighboring countries, because African nations have decided that they're coming together for one Africa. This is why you see that. Absolutely, because the embassies are unlawful, or some people are saying illegal. Ashe. Oh, I'm getting chills just thinking about us having sovereignty all across the globe. So that's not the only article that I discovered, but let me see. There was an article that said that CNN said that they were basing their report on a document that they got from the United States government. And CNN said that this document said that the American government, or the United States Incorporated, were closing 10 embassies and 17 consulates. That article came out in March. So that one came out in March, and I'll show you that one right quickly. And then they expanded upon it and said, no, we're going to close 30. What's my point here? My point here is they're going to say war here, war there. Everybody be afraid. Oh my God, you can tell we're going to have war because embassies all across the globe are closing. But really behind the scenes, we're having the greatest wealth transference in history, and Project Sandman is being executed. Project Sandman, a secret agreement between 209 nations to, when triggered, stop trading with the dollar and have global peace. Here you can see right here, United States closing embassies abroad amid budget cuts. Has nothing to do with the war. Please stay encouraged. Let's hear this.
Significantly in coming months. An internal State Department document obtained by CNN shows the Trump administration is considering whether to close dozens of overseas embassies and consulates. The document recommends closing down 10 embassies and 17 consulates. The majority of the diplomatic missions on the chopping block are located in Africa and in Europe. The document suggests that embassies in neighboring countries will be able to cover the countries that would have their offices cut. However, for Americans living or traveling abroad and for foreign diplomats, it means having to journey to another country to speak to a U.S. government representative. Embassies and consulates provide services for Americans abroad and also collect information for the federal government. The Trump administration is also looking to significantly slash the State Department's budget. Sources familiar with the plan told USA Today the White House wants to cut $30 billion from the agency in fiscal year 2026.
Sorry about that. I'm having some difficulties with my Wi-Fi, but can you see, family, that they've been talking about shutting down embassies? I only got about 5 more minutes. Chief, if you want to say something about wars and rumors of wars, come on, let's go. Now, most recently we heard, oh, they're closing down embassies in Qatar and in the Middle East and in Israel, in Jerusalem, due to this war between Iran and Israel. Nope, it's all fake, family, okay? Any problems that were going on between Israel and Iran, or it has been mitigated. President Trump had said a while ago that Iran had no weapons of mass destruction, but now he's saying that he bombed 3 different key places where they had nuclear weapons or uranium to create nuclear weapons. Listen, this is a way for the deep state or the elites to talk to each other. He said the other day, once he bombed those 3 sites in Iran, now is the time for peace. And I broke down in gematria what that means. When you look at it, does mean now we're going to have global peace, and now NESARA-GESARA is going to be enacted. But I showed you that it meant the other phrases that came up with the same gematria code was July 4th, don't make me, peace, and some other things. It escapes me, but go to my podcast that I did on yesterday. So let's look at this most recent article. I see you guys here. Let's look at this most recent article. I see you, Chief, but bring you up in just 1 second. You can see here that it says, where is it that says Qatar closes airspace and United States Embassy and tells Americans to take shelter. It's all fake. All the world is a stage. Stay encouraged, family. The real thing that's happening is that we're about to experience the greatest wealth transfer in history. The real thing that's happening is global peace. The real thing that's happening is peace deals were already secured when Trump went to the Middle East, and he secured the biggest peace treaty and the biggest trade deal when he went to Asia, specifically China. Now, I spoke about that in my private group. And once he went to China and he secured that big peace treaty and trade deal, the whole world conceded to Trump, and they made trade agreements with the United States, and they solidified, listen to me, they solidified their agreements and world peace. Here it says the United States considers closing embassies abroad amid budget cuts. I think I showed you that. And there's one more. Excuse me. I'll let Chief come up and talk about that. Hey, Chief, I'm sorry. I got about 5 minutes before I have to leave and catch my flight. What do you say, Chief?
Trump came out and was talking about fake news. And I've been saying for years that the world is a stage. Everything is staged. And that it's a Truman Show.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so hard for people to accept that.
I know.
Because when you've been indoctrinated too long, people think that because the news pushes it, because the religion pushes it, because the educational system pushes it, but everything that's been pushed, they told you that it's been pushed by the wicked. In that book, it said that the world's been turned over to the wicked.
Yes, sir.
Now, their rulership is coming to an end. And they don't want, their job is to try to distract you from getting this information, guys, so that you can make the executive decisions that's going to take not only you, but your children's children break the generational curses. They're trying they're trying to stop that from happening by all means. And what they're trying to do is to get you guys to recontract with them, so that you won't get your estate or your inheritance. Contract with them, not only in the natural,
You're good,
but the spiritual. So you get caught in this soul trap.
Yes.
They want you spiritually and the natural to give up your estate. They can be fiduciaries over your spiritual estate and physical estate, and they do that with psychological warfare, social engineering, controlled opposition. So you can't not listen to the news and take, give it any merit. I
Right.
post, and I'll bring it up again. The folks over there, when they were showing in war, those were crisis actors. They were making them up with fake blood, makeup, and they were under the sheets, and they was like, cut action. They supposed to be unalive under these white sheets. And you got people moving in these white sheets that's supposed to be unalive. The same thing, but I don't give any donations out to anybody but what I can see tangible. Because they were showing these people with flies on their face over there in Africa, and these people were crisis actors.
Yes, sir.
They know that America is that holy land. America produces more oil than any place else on earth. Because
And
go ahead.
and we have lots of mines in California, Nevada, really
Yes.
all over the place, and they've been held and suppressed for a long time and closed to shut down,
Yes.
but they're about to reopen under the Trump administration. In a private group, I tell everybody the specific code that allowed Trump to open up all the mines all across America and the oil to dig.
And for those of you that's not in the private group, you're gonna miss a lot of intel because we're not going to be pushing certain information on a open platform. It's not gonna happen.
No, sir.
It's not gonna happen. So
Chief, I only got one more minute before I have to leave. Okay,
okay.
Pardon me.
Yes, I just wanted to say that, guys. Get your affairs in order. Get your trust in order, for starters. Get it in order.
Yes, and to join a private group, only if you're interested. You don't have to, of course. Here's the link because Chief is going to do some classes for us. Soon he's not going to be doing trust and teaching people how to operate in the private, except for those that are really, really serious about it. But Chief, any final words and maybe a prayer or just something to encourage us as we go about our evening?
Just be in good spirits. Okay. Know that it will happen. Contrary to what you see, that's faith. Contrary to what you hear and seeing, faith is about what you can't see that you know it's going to happen. I believe that you know it's going to happen. Be happy, be in prayer and worship and be thankful. Tell the Creator thank you. Tell the ancestors thank you because it's already done. It's done. Stop being stressed out by what the media is saying. Just start loving. Love is the highest vibration. Operate in love and no fear. And
operate in That's right, Chief, because they will tell us to be worried or have fear. And one of the latest articles that came out was that Switzerland and UK were closing embassies in Tehran, and they're like just inciting so much fear in telling everybody, to be concerned. They closed the embassies because of Iran's ongoing hostilities with Israel. So can you mention before we leave why they keep talking about Israel? What is that about?
Israel is on its way out.
Okay.
Because the same entity that created Israel in 1948 was the same people behind creating the United States Corporation. So the United States Corporation established themselves in the Holy Land and pulling out resources from this land and funneling those resources to Israel, which is themselves.
Yes, sir. Got it. And I know that we've always heard them say Israel last. So stay high vibrational. Keep your spirits lifted. This is the most beautiful time to be alive. Go ahead, Chief. Can you hear it? We can't hear you, Chief. We can't hear you. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. He's saying, wait. So I hear you guys saying it's our time. Absolutely. Absolutely, family. Trump is the king of the world. Red number one finger, red number one finger. So thank you, Neo. What you're saying is the same thing that the Grand Sheikh Amir said a couple of days ago in the podcast when he was saying that Trump was made sultan. Go ahead, Chief.
Yes. So the same.
We can't hear you.
The United States Corporation was bringing foreigners over. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, now
You
the
ready,
same
son?
entity
Go ahead.
that created Israel in 1948 created the United States Corporation. So the United States
Oh.
Corporation, the reason they was giving so much money to Israel because they were giving money to themselves. That's the same thing as saying you, the person, created you a foundation, and you pull the money from the trust, and you feed it and fund yourself in a different name. That's all that's
Mm.
happening. That's all that's happening. They're feeding themselves. Now that time is coming to an end, and they're trying to remain the focal point. The same people
Hmm.
in Israel, it's the same people across the board that they claim that they're fighting. They're all in it together.
They're all
The
in
same
it together.
fighting. They're laughing and joking at the people in America because America people are the most indoctrinated people in the world. Because the world outsiders need the American people to be hoodwinked so that they can come over here and pull from the world's greatest resources that are right here in America, guys. Don't be fooled.
Yes, sir. Don't be fooled. Thank you, Chief. I just wanted you to give our family something to be encouraged about. Just it's good to have confirmation. To what I've been saying, what you've been saying. In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let every word be established, is what the scripture says.
Well,
All right. So, family, thank you for listening. I'm sorry we have to go. I'm on my way out. Chief, people contacted me to let you know that they have emailed you
yeah,
to let you know.
I'll get with them today.
Okay. All right. All right, family. I love you. You've listened to Chief Mack. I'm Dr. Kia Pruitt. I trust that we've said something to raise your vibrations and inspire you to create the most amazing, magnificent life that you desire and deserve. Get those humanitarian projects together, write your personal mission statement, and get your trust together with Chief Mack. You can reach him at Unity in Motion 45 at yahoo.com. And I'll put that here for you. Unity in Motion 45 at yahoo.com. All right, Chief, I love you, and I will talk to you soon.
Love you too. Okay, guys.
All right, family. Peace. We love you. Take care. Bye-bye.